Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, January 11th, 2017. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. During the presidential election campaign, Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid, a Democrat, frequently made comments about Republican nominee Donald Trump. Senator Reid's comments were vitriolic, saying that Mr. Trump engaged in borderline criminal behavior and that once his tax returns were released, everybody would know. He also made comments about Mr. Trump's relationship with Russia. Those comments tended to be ignored, but now we find out that, in fact, according to reports issued by NBC News last night, intelligence agencies had briefed congressional leaders, including Harry Reid and President Obama, and last week President-elect Donald Trump, that they believe, although they can't quite substantiate it, they believe that Vladimir Putin has obtained what they describe as salacious information, compromising information about President-elect Trump. Some of the speculations in the media range from prostitution arrangements to financial irregularities in business dealings with Russia. Trump has denied all of this in Twitter posts. Meanwhile, later today, Trump is conducting his first press conference as being elected president. We can be sure that this question will come up. From the Kremlin's perspective, they strongly denied possessing any information about Donald Trump. An official spokesman said the Kremlin does not engage in collecting compromising information. That's something that I will leave you to ponder. In South Korea, news comes that the Samsung heir apparent Jae-yong is going to be interviewed as a suspect in a corruption scandal surrounding the impeached South Korean president. Samsung is accused of giving donations to a nonprofit foundation operated by a confidant of President Park Geun-hye. The 48-year-old Mr. Lee is currently vice president of Samsung Electronics, but since his father, Lee Geun-hye, suffered a major heart attack in 2014, he is considered de facto boss of the entire Samsung Group conglomerate. Prosecutors allege that Samsung gave about $3 million US to a company owned by the confidant of Mrs. Park in exchange for her support for an electronics deal that Samsung was pursuing. The Taiwan Straits, the body of water between the island of Taiwan and China, at its narrowest point is about 80 miles wide. The Chinese aircraft carrier, the Linyang, is now steaming in this Taiwan Straits. The Lining aircraft carrier is the one most noticeable for its ski jump end, where planes are forced to propel themselves up a ski jump type of incline in order to gain more lift. Of course, it has a corresponding limit on the amount of fuel they can carry. The ship is apparently steaming there in a show of force. Taiwanese Defense Ministry says the island should not panic. F-16 fighter jets have been monitoring the movement of the aircraft carrier. The Chinese are increasingly incensed after President-elect Trump's call to the Taiwanese president, Tsai Ing-wen, after she was elected. The Taiwanese president is now in Nicaragua as part of a tour of Central America, and the Chinese in Beijing are watching closely to see if she has any contact with President-elect Trump's people. A report from Kiev, Ukraine, says that the power cut that hit part of the Ukrainian capital in December has been determined to be a cyber attack. The blackout lasted just over an hour, started before midnight on the 17th of December. It affected about 20% of Kiev's power. The attack took place almost exactly 1 year after a larger hack on a regional electricity distribution company that was later blamed on Russian security services. We mentioned yesterday that the Chinese President Xi Jinping is going to be the first Chinese leader to visit the World Economic Forum in Davos next week. We're now getting some indication as to what he's going to talk about. He's going to emphasize China's support for global cooperation and free trade. He's going to assert that China is a responsible country. The divisive American elections and Trump's America First approach presents China with a chance to extend its global sway and present itself as a force for stability. According to one commentator, before, when China said it was a responsible power, everybody thought, who are you kidding? Now, though, China wants to use Davos as an established platform to demonstrate that it will play a positive role in peace and stability. It's quite ironic that the U.S. established this global order, and now China is acting as its defender. Also at the World Economic Forum, an advanced report was released naming extreme weather events, major natural disasters, and climate change as 3 of the top 10 global risks for 2017. All 5 major environmental risks, extreme weather, natural disasters, failure of both climate change, man-made environmental disasters, were ranked both as high risk and with high likelihood of occurring in 2017 for the first time. The danger of cyber attacks and data fraud were also included in the top 10 risks for the first time. The report indicated that the increasing difficulties with globalization and international cooperation point to the fact that it's going to be difficult in order to establish a cooperative effort to deal with these man-made events that need resolution. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.